Heyo! It is nice and sunny. It's freaking beautiful out right now. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so fantastic. Got my standby on the drink. Let me just share this with you actually. Do you know about this? Do you know about this drink? It's freaking delightful. It is so amazing. So, anywho, I just wanted to hop on here real quick for my daily live and just share with you a few things. Again, back on it with Warrior Training because they're like flipping the schedule around and changing the calendar so they kind of squeeze a few of the meetings together and then it will get back kind of on track in July. And it's been awesome as always. Like the training forces you to see where you need to do the work. And sometimes it's as simple as like, hey, you just need to change this one thing. Other times, for me right now, I have gone through the dark night of the soul recently for about 7 weeks. I'm gonna share that with you later when it's not quite as raw, but it's been incredibly painful, but also incredibly revealing and incredibly insightful. And as I am kind of looking back on it, it has actually been really beautiful and really painful. And both of those things can exist at the same time, apparently, is what I'm figuring out. So it's very poignant. The reason I bring that up is it's poignant based on what I am going through and the difference between change and transformation. And I think a lot of people look at that and think that it's the same. Maybe, I think most people are like, oh, it's pretty much the same thing. But is it? The question is it the same thing or is it similar or what is it? And the thing that we discussed this morning in the training was, if you look at it, this is such a visual thing. If you look at a triangle, okay, so it's a triangle, and if you take that triangle and you turn it to the side, and you turn it to the side a little bit, it just kind of falls over to that side. And then it's like down and then over and then around. And so basically you can flip it around a few different times and the triangle point, the top, is now to the right or the bottom or the left and now back to the top. And that is change, okay? The triangle is changing because it's moving into a different direction. And that is change. And that is what most of us believe is transformation. But is it? Is it really transformation? You are changing and maybe you're doing things a little bit differently. That's great. And I think that's the beginning stages of the transformation. But the difference is this, again, a mental picture here is take that same triangle, okay, and think about that in your mind, the same triangle, okay, and now that triangle becomes a circle. It has completely transformed from a triangle to a circle. And the difference is, it is now something completely different than what it was previously. And that's transformation. So I'm going to just talk about change again. Change is the triangle can be flipped on its side and around and around and around, and it's making some progress, but ultimately you end up at the same place. If you flip the triangle enough times, it's going to come back to the same position it was previously. And that is what I have been going through for so many years in the domain of balance and relationships. Is for me, I feel like I'm making this change. Okay, I'm gonna just change now, I'm gonna change next time, I'm gonna change now, I'm gonna, I've heard some feedback of how do I change that, how do I change this? But ultimately, until you make the transformation of who you are to become the next best version of yourself, you will continue to go in this karmic cul-de-sac and come back to where the triangle is pointing straight up again. It's just a matter of degree of changes until it comes back to be pretty much the same. Versus, okay, this is where I am in the midst of this, going through the dark night of the soul and really transforming myself. This experience that I've had is incredible and it is transformative. It truly is transforming the way that I have operated in my life, in my relationships, in my business, and all of these other things. It is truly transforming me into a different version of myself, which I would submit to you will be a better version of myself. TBD, right? I believe everything that I'm going through and just everything that I know and have seen and heard and felt, right? Give me the eyes to see, the ears to hear, and the heart to feel. I feel like I've gone through a lot of that, and on the other side of this, which may take another week, 2 weeks, 2 months, I don't know, because more and more things are being revealed. And so let me just share this with you. I'm on this training with my friend Aaron, and he is super intelligent and has really found the way to be centered and whole within yourself. And he is teaching me this process, and it's been amazing. But he told me something called the intelligence of emotions. And the intelligence of emotions means as you understand and you can sit with your emotions and process your emotions in a healthy way, there is an intelligence that understands that you can handle more. Maybe it's the same emotion, maybe it's different, but you can handle bigger and more capacity within your emotions. And the reason I bring that up is because as I've been going through this for, almost going on 8 weeks now, is like, what am I learning? And this is one of the things, is as I learn how to sit with my emotions, feel them and heal them and address them instead of suppressing them, I get more. And so the reason I bring that up is kind of what I was just talking about a few seconds ago in regards to, I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if the intelligence of the emotions that I'm seeing and feeling and hearing are going to be downloading bigger, more capacity that I can handle them. So I might be feeling and dealing with bigger emotions that I need to be healing. Ultimately, the reason I bring that up is it goes into the question of, is it change or is it transformation? Are you just changing in the moment, right? Changing is doing. Transformation is being. And that is the biggest takeaway that I got today, is I can do things and I can change. And usually that change is external, like, oh, okay, I need to do this or I need to do that. And this is what the other person in the relationship wants, or this is what my boss needs. And I'm going to send out this email and I'm going to change the way I operate. Okay, great. It starts with thought, but then ultimately I see change as the doing, which is external. However, the transformation is really internal. It is the internal being and becoming of something new, better, different, whatever it might be, that allows you to transform yourself from the inside out. And that is the big difference. And that I think, my friends, is the distinction that I want you to feel and see and hear within this lesson, is that yes, you can change and you can do things differently, and change on the outside is good. Don't get me wrong, that is good. But ultimately that change is going to lead you back to the same place, because it's just a click of the dial until you actually land back up where you were previously. Or you have this option to truly transform yourself from the inside out, where it starts with your thoughts. Are you changing the thoughts that continually run as the pattern in your mind? Are you able to stop those thoughts and change that process for you as the patterns that you can then create a new habit, new actions, right? Thoughts, words, actions. Those are the three things you can really control. Are your thoughts, are the words that you speak, and the actions that you take. And so how are you doing those things? How are you becoming better at controlling your thoughts or thinking a better thought? How are you becoming better at the words that you use? Maybe it's enunciating better. Maybe it's learning a bigger vocabulary. Maybe it's really stepping back and taking 3 to 5 seconds when you're triggered before you respond out of hatred and anger. I had an experience last weekend where someone in my life had gotten really triggered and basically told me to F off, and they hate me and they never want to see me again. And that was said in anger, right? And it was very painful. It was very hurtful for me to hear those things. And because it was said in anger and they were triggered to say those things, it really hurt me deeply by hearing those things. But the thing that I want you to remember and realize is transformation is an inside-out job. Change is usually just on the outside. So I ask you, my friends, where can you today look for the transformation in your life, in your mind, in your heart, in your body, anywhere that you know you need that transformation. Love you guys. Glad you're here. See you soon.